Okay, but really, let's talk about how awesome my accountability has been. Like, once every 2 weeks. It's so bad. Okay, hey guys, my name is Raven, and if it's your first time here, this is where I talk about everything going on with my health, which up till now was supposed to be workout diaries and eventually other things. Today's video is obviously different, considering I'm wearing a dress and mascara, and as hard to believe as this might be, I'm actually trying to look decent today. I feel like a pile of snot or something though. I just do not feel good. So, if you watch my vlogs, you might know that I actually made a doctor's appointment, which is not something I do. You can probably tell from my accent, I do live in America, United States, and I don't have health care. I don't have insurance, so going to the doctor is not something I regularly do because it costs a lot of money that I don't have. Before I dive into the present, I'm actually going to talk about what happened when I was 15. When I was 15, I had trouble breathing because of my neck. I don't know like the right terminology, so I'm just going to explain it as best as I can. Because of how heavy my backpack was, my spine grew misshaped. That caused my neck to sort of like pinch a nerve, and all of the muscles in my neck swelled, and it just made it really hard for me to breathe. Because of that, because it was a consistent problem, we went to a chiropractor. He adjusted my neck and everything went down. Like I was able to breathe, I was actually a little taller, and everything felt really good. Because the problem was pretty deeply ingrained and not an easy fix, we continued to go to the chiropractor for a few months. I went 3 times a week, every week. Honestly, I was supposed to keep going. I think I went for about a year, and then a lot of things happened, and basically I just stopped going. I stopped going for 7 years. Fast forward to today. I have been well aware in the back of my mind, I should probably go to a chiropractor with some of the pains I've been having. Last year I was in a car wreck, and that gave me whiplash, and because I still have consistent neck pains, I kind of just added to it. I have had about 6 years ago, I started having hip problems where my hips pop in and out of place, and sometimes it doesn't bother me, other times it's painful. My mom has questioned whether or not I have arthritis in my hips, and I actually haven't gotten that one found out yet. Say about 2 weeks ago, I had really bad rib pain. All pain is pretty bad, but I feel like some areas are a lot more effective than others. When your back hurts, you don't turn, you don't lift, you don't do things that hurt your back. When your neck hurts, you don't turn your head, you don't, you just don't do things. When your ribs hurt and it hurts to breathe in too deeply, you can't stop breathing. You have to kind of keep doing that. And so because it hurt to breathe, it hurt to laugh, it hurt to talk to people, it hurt to pump syrup at work, it hurt to lift a jug of milk, I kind of realized, yeah, I've been putting this off too long. I need to get it fixed. Funny thing is by the time I'd actually made the appointment and saved the money to go, the rib pain had actually gone down on its own. But I still kept going to the appointment anyways. And so last week, all of this happened last week. Last week, I went and got my x-rays done. They did a adjustment for me. I went to the same chiropractor I'd gone to in high school, so they knew me. They were kind of aware of some of the problems I've had in the past, so not everything was a surprise to them. So I went in, and even though I don't have insurance and everything, they were so freaking nice, and they worked with me, and I was actually able to pay for everything. Like, that is a stress that I don't know how to explain, because it's terrifying to know you need help and can't afford it. And that because of this little thing called money, you can't get health. Like, oof. Anyways, and so we scheduled a follow-up appointment where they also did an adjustment, and they did the stent therapy, which is where they take electrodes and they put it on muscle groups that hurt. It's such a great way of explaining things. A+. Thursday is when I went for my follow-up, and that is where I got the diagnosis of what all is going on with my body. It's actually a little worse than I thought, but it could still be worse, so I'm not trying to whine about it. I just want it to be up there so that, I mean, if you're following this, you know what's going on. If I want to look back on this, I can be like, wow, I remember going through that. I'm gonna start like from the bottom up. I have pelvic misalignment, which is where like one's hip is a little bit taller than the other one. I think he said it might be an inch off. I might have misheard that because it seemed like a huge difference. I will say, looking at the x-rays, it is a huge difference. Like, wow. if I can see it and I don't understand anything about x-rays, it's probably a huge difference. I have beginner stages of scoliosis. That's not new. That has actually been a thing with me for a very long time, but he sounded a little more concerned about it than he did before. In my neck, I have whiplash. I had no idea that whiplash could be seen on x-rays. I thought it was a muscle problem, not a bone problem. So that was something I had learned that was new. He also like zoomed in and showed me like the actual whiplash, which was kind of creepy. And I have stage 2 spinal degeneration, or is it subluxation? It's like subluxation degeneration. There's so many shuns, it just all gets confusing with the stage 2 thing. Stage 1, your neck is supposed to have a natural C curve to it. In stage 1, that's a sign that, or not a sign, but it's basically when you've lost that entire C curve where it's straight. So my neck is straight when it should be curved. In stage 2 is where they're actually starting to move the vertebrae. They're moving either apart or towards each other. They're just not supposed to do that. So I think mine, when I looked at it, it looked like they were moving further apart from each other than they should be. I've seen other graphs where it showed the person's vertebrae moving closer together. Your spine and your nervous system control everything in your body. Like and I know that. I know how important it is to have a healthy spine, and I've never had a healthy spine. So going from here, I am starting up the regimen that I was on before. I'm going to be going to the chiropractor 3 times a week for the next 2 months, and when we get to 2 months, we're gonna have another check-in and see how I'm handling everything, like if my back is reacting to it. And if it's reacting to it and I'm starting to get better, we're gonna go down to twice a week and then another check-in. I think the wellness track that he wants me on, because I'm at stage 2, is I'm going to be going to the chiropractor twice a month, essentially for the rest of my life. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's a lot less than 3 times a week. Right now, I'm just like trying to wrap my head around how I'm gonna get in every week. For this next week, he gave me a really large packet of paperwork that talks about like what is good and not good to do while going to the chiropractor. This week, I am not going to the gym because it hurts. Everything hurts. I'm still going to try and do some body weight exercises. I can do squats and lunges and a few ab workouts that I found. I really hate doing arm body weight exercises. Like if I had a pull-up bar, I'd be okay, but I don't like push-ups. I hate push-ups. But I feel like it's too easy for me to overwork myself at the gym because I love doing it. I might go and only use the stair climber because that's like the only form of cardio I've been using lately. I don't know if that's good or not. And I might walk on the treadmill, but other than that, for this week, I really want to let my body adjust to the changes that it's going through. And then after that, if I feel better, I will go back to the gym because I miss the gym. I will say that this week, I did have 2 adjustments this week. I was miserable at work. I'm a barista, so I can't help but to bend and pick up jugs of milk and to twist till I can see people and to just moving. It can be a fast-paced environment, and I'm not supposed to be bending, I'm not supposed to be twisting, I'm not supposed to be lifting, and you kind of have no choice but to do it, even though my coworkers are awesome and they're trying to look out for me and make sure that I don't overwork myself. There's only so much you can do that environment, and the worst it has gotten was I had overdone it, and I knew I was overdoing it, and I knew I shouldn't have been doing it, but I had pushed a cart that had like 8 gallons of milk on it and a whole bunch of other stuff, but the milk was the heaviest part, and when I pushed it up a ramp, the pain in my entire back got so bad that I felt like I was gonna throw up, and it was really gross. And when I stopped and I started putting the milk away, I had stood up really fast and everything went really, really dark. I had to hold onto the counter to keep from falling backwards. It was miserable. It hasn't been that bad again. Thankfully, the days after that, I kind of knew this is not happening again. I knew my limit and I wasn't gonna push it, but yeah, that was miserable, and yeah. That's sort of why I don't want to go to the gym, because I might push myself too hard and that would really suck. I am also not gonna be doing any form of aerial acrobatics for the next 2 months. Maybe, I might see how I feel after this first month, but my first instinct is to not go, at least for this next 2 months, which it's not like I've been doing it a lot recently. It's just been something that I really miss doing and want to do again. I had tried to talk one of my coworkers into going with me, but now that all of this is going on and I'm aware that all of this is going on, I just feel like I shouldn't. I feel like I should probably build up strength and get my health a little bit better. It's one thing to be at the gym because it's such a controlled environment. You set the weights yourself, you do the reps yourself. If you obviously know when something is about to go wrong. It's really hard to say this trick is bad for you every single time. I obviously know that there are some tricks that I can't do because of all of my health problems, but that's not the case for everything, and even just the smallest misstep can take a trick that you've done a million times and turn it into something that could very badly hurt you. And as much as that sucks, I don't want to push myself too hard. However, I will say, on a really positive note, on the way home tonight, Zach and I were talking a lot about how we both want to get healthier. We talked about how we're going to do it, because it's one thing to say, I want to get in shape, and another thing to actually say, you know what, I want to get in shape and this is how I'm gonna do it. That's what we did, and nothing is set in stone until you start doing it. Until then, everything is just talk. But I feel like better things come from actually having a full plan than a miscellaneous goal. I don't know how long I've babbled, and I can't think of anything else I was gonna say to you guys tonight. So, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I really hope I didn't come off as a really big whiny butt. I hope you guys are all having a great day and that you are healthy and happy, and I will see you next time. Please like and subscribe and leave your comments down below, and I will see you guys when I see you. Bye.